Have you ever eaten a raw onion? Maybe it was in a salad or on top of your favorite sandwich, adding that signature crunch and bite. But what if I told you that just one raw onion could trigger something unexpected and in some cases, even irreversible in your body? It sounds surprising, right? Well, hold on, because in this video, we're going to explore how consuming raw onions could potentially cause serious reactions, and why you need to be cautious the next time you think about adding one to your meal. Stick around to learn the truth about this common kitchen ingredient. The setup. Why this matters. Onions are a staple in kitchens around the world. Whether you're a seasoned chef or someone who just enjoys a good homemade dish, there's a strong chance you've used raw onions in your cooking at some point. They can be found in salads, added as a topping to burgers, tacos, and sandwiches, or even eaten raw with a pinch of salt. Onions have been used for thousands of years in various cultures and cuisines. Their sharp, pungent flavor makes them a go-to ingredient for adding zest to a dish. But what most people don't know is that there could be a hidden danger lurking in that seemingly harmless vegetable, especially when it's consumed raw. There are compounds in raw onions that, when ingested, could lead to some serious reactions inside your body, some of which may be irreversible. Now, this isn't meant to scare you out of eating onions altogether. After all, onions are packed with nutrients, and when consumed in moderation, they can be part of a healthy diet. But the way you eat them, especially if you're eating them raw, could make all the difference. The next few minutes of this video will uncover what those risks are and how you can stay safe while still enjoying your favorite foods. So if you've eaten raw onions before, or if they're a regular part of your meals, keep watching. The science behind raw onions. So, what exactly is happening when you eat a raw onion? The science behind this pungent vegetable is quite fascinating. Onions contain several unique compounds that give them their distinct flavor and health properties. The most important of these are sulfur-containing compounds known as thiosulfonates and an enzyme called alliinase. When you cut or bite into a raw onion, you trigger a chemical reaction. The enzyme alliinase reacts with sulfur compounds to produce volatile sulfur compounds like thiosulfonates. These are the compounds responsible for the sharp, biting taste of raw onions and, incidentally, the tears they make you shed while chopping them. But it's not just about the flavor or the temporary eye irritation. They can have a direct impact on your body as well. In small quantities, these sulfur compounds aren't harmful for most people. In fact, they've been linked to health benefits like lowering cholesterol and improving heart health. However, for some individuals, particularly those with sensitive digestive systems, the story is quite different. The consumption of raw onions can lead to a cascade of reactions, some of which might not be so easily reversed. When you eat a raw onion, those sulfur compounds head straight to your stomach and begin to interact with your digestive system. For some people, this interaction can cause discomfort, inflammation, or even trigger allergic reactions. In more severe cases, these reactions might lead to long-lasting damage, particularly to your gut health. But before we dive deeper into that, let's first understand how this happens and who is at risk. The irreversible reaction. Now, here's where things get serious. While most people can enjoy raw onions without much trouble, for a significant number of individuals, the story is quite different. For these individuals, eating raw onions can lead to digestive distress. What kind of distress? Well, it can range from mild bloating and gas to more severe symptoms like heartburn, acid reflux, and even long-term damage to the gut's delicate microbiota. You see, when the sulfur compounds in raw onions enter your digestive system, they can act as irritants to the stomach lining and the intestines. For those with sensitive digestive systems, such as people with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, food intolerances, or other gut-related conditions, this irritation can lead to inflammation. Over time, if the irritation continues, especially if raw onions are consumed regularly, it can cause more permanent damage to the gut's ability to properly digest and absorb nutrients. One of the most concerning possibilities is the long-term alteration of your gut microbiota. Your gut is home to trillions of microorganisms that play a crucial role in digestion and overall health. If this balance is disrupted by food irritants like raw onions, your digestive health may suffer in ways that are difficult to reverse. Gut microbiota imbalances have been linked to various chronic conditions, including digestive disorders, autoimmune diseases, and even mental health problems like anxiety and depression. The scary part? Once your gut microbiota is thrown off balance, it can be incredibly difficult to restore it to a healthy state. This is why the consumption of raw onions could lead to irreversible changes, particularly for those with pre-existing digestive conditions. The risk of overconsumption. You might be thinking, okay, I eat raw onions, but I've never felt any serious discomfort. And that's a valid point. For most people, raw onions don't pose an immediate risk. However, there's a difference between occasionally eating raw onions and consuming them regularly or in large quantities. The more raw onions you eat, the more likely you are to experience negative side effects. Think of it like this. Your body might be able to handle small doses of those sulfur compounds, but when you continually expose your digestive system to them, the cumulative effect can lead to trouble. Some people might start to experience bloating, a burning sensation in the throat, or stomach discomfort after eating raw onions frequently. For others, particularly those with sensitive digestive systems, the effects could be more severe. Over time, frequent consumption of raw onions could lead to chronic inflammation of the gut lining, triggering symptoms like acid reflux, persistent indigestion, and changes in bowel habits. And let's not forget about food intolerances. For people with a mild intolerance to onions, overconsumption can lead to a buildup of irritating compounds in the digestive system, causing reactions that range from mild discomfort to severe digestive issues. In some rare cases, people may experience food allergies triggered by raw onions, which can lead to symptoms like swelling of the throat, difficulty breathing, and other more serious allergic reactions. This is why it's important to be mindful of how often and how much raw onion you consume. Who's most at risk? While anyone can experience discomfort from eating raw onions, certain groups of people are at a higher risk for more severe reactions. People with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, are one of the most at-risk groups. IBS affects the digestive system and can cause symptoms like bloating, cramping, diarrhea, and constipation. Raw onions are particularly problematic for people with IBS because they contain fermentable carbohydrates known as FODMAPs. FODMAPs can be difficult for the gut to digest, leading to bloating, gas, and discomfort. People with food intolerances or sensitivities to sulfur-containing foods are also at risk. These individuals may not realize they have a sensitivity to onions until they start experiencing symptoms like gas, bloating, and stomach pain after consuming raw onions. In addition, those with acid reflux or gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, are also at higher risk of experiencing symptoms after eating raw onions. Onions are known to relax the lower esophageal sphincter, the muscle that separates the stomach from the esophagus, which can allow stomach acid to flow back up into the esophagus, causing heartburn. Lastly, individuals with allergies to onions or related foods may experience more serious reactions like swelling of the mouth or throat, itching, and difficulty breathing. These allergic reactions can sometimes be severe, so it's important to be aware of any potential symptoms. What to do if you've eaten raw onions? If you've eaten raw onions and are starting to experience discomfort, there are a few things you can do to alleviate the symptoms. First, drinking plenty of water can help flush out the irritants from your digestive system and reduce bloating. Water can also help dilute any stomach acid that may be causing heartburn or acid reflux. Another remedy is to avoid acidic foods that could exacerbate symptoms. After eating raw onions, it's best to steer clear of citrus fruits, tomatoes, and spicy foods, as these can further irritate your stomach. Natural remedies like ginger or peppermint can also help soothe your digestive system. Ginger is known for its anti-inflammatory properties and can help reduce nausea and stomach discomfort. Peppermint can help relax the muscles of the gastrointestinal tract, which may help alleviate bloating and gas. If you frequently experience discomfort after eating raw onions, it may be a sign that you have a food intolerance or a sensitivity. In this case, it's a good idea to keep track of your symptoms and consult with a healthcare professional. They can help you determine whether onions are causing your symptoms and whether you should avoid them altogether. The safe way to consume onions. While raw onions can cause problems for some people, that doesn't mean you need to cut onions out of your diet completely. The good news is that cooking onions can reduce the potency of the compounds that cause these reactions. Cooking onions breaks down some of the sulfur compounds that can irritate the digestive system, making them easier to digest. For those who still want to enjoy the flavor of onions without the risk, cooked onions are a safer alternative. Whether sautéed, grilled, or roasted, cooked onions retain their flavor while being gentler on your digestive system. If you prefer eating onions raw but want to minimize the risk, try using smaller quantities or pairing them with other foods that can help buffer the irritants. For example, adding raw onions to a salad with leafy greens and other vegetables may help reduce their impact on your digestive system. It's also a good idea to experiment with different types of onions. Some varieties, like sweet onions, have a milder flavor and may be less likely to cause discomfort than stronger onions like red or yellow onions. In conclusion, raw onions are a popular and flavorful ingredient, but they're not without risks. For some people, consuming raw onions can lead to digestive distress, allergic reactions, and in rare cases, even irreversible damage to the gut. While most people can enjoy raw onions in moderation, those with sensitive digestive systems or food intolerances need to be cautious. If you've ever felt discomfort after eating raw onions, it's time to pay attention to how your body reacts. Whether you choose to cook your onions or limit your intake, being mindful of how onions affect your digestive system can help you avoid long-term issues. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the subscribe button and check out our other videos on food sensitivities and gut health. Don't forget to share this information with your friends and family so they can stay informed.